I'm going to explain exactly how you can get over 10 million views per video on a lot of the shorts that you're uploading right now. And just a quick reminder, these skills apply to not just YouTube, but also TikTok, IG, Facebook, whatever you're uploading on. If there's short form content you're uploading, these analytics that I'm going to show you and these skills that I'm going to teach you are going to apply to absolutely anything. And as you can see here, I have a bunch of channels that have hit over 10 million plus views on some of these individual shorts. Some of these channels I worked with, some of these channels I own. Just really depends on which channel it is. But regardless, we have a lot of channels that have generated tens of thousands of dollars per month just by understanding the skills of uploading videos that get over 10 million views. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to explain when we start talking about these 10 million views, and also I'm going to use this Miro board to kind of explain everything. I'm just going to be writing with my mouse. Ignore the bad handwriting, but I think it's going to help a lot of you guys out with understanding this stuff. So yeah, the first thing I want you guys to understand is there is levels to this. All right, there's levels to this. Like there's levels from breaking out of like 30K view jail and 100K view jail, and I guess I should put 0 view jail too. View jail. There's also things like a million view jail, and then there's 10 million view jail, and then there's even 100 million view jail as well, which I can explain later in the video. But I want to explain just breaking out of these view jails because you need to be able to break out of the 0 to 1 million view jail in order to actually hit this 10 million plus views per video. The first thing you need to understand when you're making these videos is the ideation process. Okay. So there's multiple ways to get 10 million views, with the first one being your idea. Mr. Beast has said this multiple times. A good idea is not worth 1 or 2 or 5 or even 10x the amount of views, but 100x the amount of views you can get on an individual video. So when you're thinking of these videos, your ideation process needs to be very, very important. Now, this does not mean go and start spamming like tons of different ideas and like okay, I'm gonna try this one, try this one, try this one. You need to think about what you're going to upload before you actually make the video itself. So when you're thinking of the idea, make sure it's something that should mark a couple different boxes. The first box is this idea broad enough where anyone of any age, of any demographic, of any gender can watch this, right? Is it broad? So, for example, can your little sister watch this and can your grandma watch this and they'll still both be entertained? This is the first step in understanding a good idea. The second step is this idea repeatable? So, a lot of creators, especially creators where they're doing lots of challenges or stuff like that, they use repeatable content. Now, do not worry if you are going to fall underneath the spam policy. You most likely won't, but you need to have ideas that are repeatable because you want to do this over and over again. If you read the title, it's consistently getting over 10 million views per video, right? So if you want to consistently do this, the idea needs to be repeatable. For example, if this video takes a ton of time and resources just to make one of these, then it's probably not a good place for you to be because you want to make sure that these videos are something you can do over a longer period of time. All right. And then lastly, one of the most important things of finding good ideas is, has it been done before? Is there proof that this has worked? And this doesn't have to be the exact same video. You don't need to copy someone, right? But if you've seen this type of idea has worked before, for example, if you're going to be doing ranking best water bottle flip moments, right, on your video for like a ranking channel, so you're doing ranking shorts, you should see if other people have done something similar, right? Best trick shot moments. Was there a water bottle there? Were there people talking about the water bottle trick shot inside of the video itself? Okay, there was. Then maybe I should make a video just about this. One of my students more recently saw a video of an animal, right? An animal ranking, and they were like, "How this animal so cute? I don't see anyone doing animals like this. I'm gonna try making an entire shorts around this specific animal." He did it, and then he had like an 8 million view video. So I'm telling you, if you understand these three things, is there broad enough audience? Is there proof that it works? Well, actually, let's do an order. If it's a broad enough audience, is it repeatable so you can do it over and over again? And is there proof that this niche actually works or this ideation idea actually works? This is so important. I went over this first because I think this is probably the most important thing I could talk about in this video. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to scroll away and maybe click off this video later. So I said this first just in case, people are going to leave. Anyways, the next thing you need to understand of actually breaking out of this 0 to 1 million view jail to get this overall 10 million view goal is the actual niche broad enough, right? And this actually goes into number one, but I want to go into more detail about what broad enough means. So you could have a banger idea in a very crappy niche. For example, let's say your idea is let's do the water bottle example again because I think it's a good example. Let's say your idea is ranking best water bottle flip moments, right? If you're doing a video and your video is only around ranking best water bottle Coke moments, right? Like a Coke, I guess a Coke bottle, a soda bottle, your video is going to get limited by reach. You should be aiming for the broad enough reach of your audience, which is why you should be focusing on a broad enough niche. A good example of this is I'm just going to use ranking because we used it earlier. Let's say you're doing ranking animals, right? I see some of my students are doing like ranking best dog moments when they come into the program. And I tell them like, why do just best dog moments? Because you're limiting the amount of repeatable content you can do. And then you're also limiting the amount of people who can actually watch your stuff. And also, this is where it comes into like the actual demographic of your audience. It comes into the actual age of your audience. Like for example, people who have dogs are usually people in Brazil or United States, right? So you're already limiting your audience to usually those two people. There's also countries that have a lot of cats, for example, like Japan, right? So like if you start doing best dogs and cats, you're gonna reach a much more Asian and South American and North American audience. You know what I mean? So when you start focusing on broader niches, for example, instead of dogs, do pets, right? You do birds and cats and dogs and lizards and fishes, and then boom, you have a pet channel rather than just a dog channel. So think about that very simple question. Who is my my ICV, right? This stands for ideal, or sorry, IVP, ideal viewer persona. What is your IVP? So IVP, what's your ideal viewer persona? Who is watching your audience? And you'll come to notice that a lot of people like other animals than just dogs. So maybe we shouldn't do a dog niche, right? And it goes for everything. It goes for everything. Anyways, that's the main stuff I want to talk about of breaking out of this. I've made an entire video breaking out of this view jail in more detail, but these were the most important things that I wanted to talk about for this portion of understanding how to break out of the 0 to 1 million view jail. Now, let's talk about the 10 million view jail because this is where it gets juicy. All right. So I'm going to go straight into sauce. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. First thing you need to do is understand your comment ratio. Comments are so huge when it comes to actually getting a viral video. I have not had a viral video that has gotten over 10 million plus views and not had a good comment ratio. The only exception for this is ranking. Ranking has some videos that have lower comment ratios, but have very broad aspect for audiences. So this would get pushed anyway. Also, another thing to note is ranking is really powerful because when you do like incognito tab, you go to your YouTube feed and start scrolling, you'll probably get some ranking videos because YouTube recommends these videos first to people who have no idea what YouTube isn't about, right? But other than that, increasing your comment ratio is going to also increase the amount of money and views you make. There's a couple reasons for this. Number one, when you increase your comment ratio, advertisers see that viewers are interacting with your video more. And if advertisers are actually, pushing more ads to your video, guess what's going to happen? YouTube is going to make more money. And when YouTube makes more money, they will push your video further because then you make more money as well. There was an entire study around this about how like viewers who interact with the video more end up paying when they see something like an advertisement on the product that's shown at next. And this is how YouTube makes money. YouTube makes money through advertisers promoting on their platform, and then they get the money from the advertisers. Advertisers make money from viewers buying from the advertisers, and it's a whole cycle of marketing and YouTube making money for us to make money as well. So if everyone's making money, we make more money, which also gives us more views. You guys are always looking at the perspective of YouTube through a YouTuber lens and not a business lens, right? I come from a business background. And when I started these channels, I already had a lot of drop shipping experience, right? So like if I actually go back to these channels that we run here, I have over 36 channels that I run across, well, actually 37 channels now across just a ton of different niches. And the reason I did it this way is because when I entered back into YouTube, because I've been doing this for 8 years, I really took this seriously the past 4 years. When I entered back into YouTube, I didn't see YouTube from a lens of a YouTuber. I looked at this like I am going to have an empire of YouTube channels. So I look at it from a business lens. And you should probably do the same. If you're going to make YouTube videos, look at it from a business lens. Understand why are you uploading videos and who is this being targeted for and who is making the money. Because the real people making the money is the advertisers and YouTube. You're getting a small piece of that, but the work you do is so minimal, it's worth it, right? And then what's also great about it is you can automate this so it brings in cash flow like we've done right now. We have over 36 channels that we are running, or sorry, 37 channels. And we've made like over $117,000 just last month. So this is a very, very good strategy to think about. Comment ratios. I know I went a little tangent, but comment ratios make you a lot of money because YouTube pushes these videos out because advertisers see the views you get and make more money off of it. Comment ratios. Now, what comment ratio should you be aiming for? Right? I'm just gonna call this the CR moving forward. Comment ratio. So the comment ratio you should be aiming for is 1 out of every 1,000 people who see your video actually end up commenting. Now, this is very hard to achieve unless you do 2 things very, very well. Now, this only works depending on your niche, but what I'm going to talk about should apply to most niches other than a couple, which I'll talk about after that. But this is called the 2 CTA method. If you don't know what a CTA is, a CTA stands for call to action. So when you do a call to action, people end up doing an action. For example, like subscribing. If I say, hey guys, you learned something from this video, you should subscribe. That's a call to action. All right. So if you're going to do a call to action in your video, you should do the 2 CTA method. This is where you start with a visual CTA and then you do a audio CTA after. So imagine a YouTube video like a giant time script. In the beginning, you have your hook or anti-hook, depending on what type of videos you're making. If you don't know what an anti-hook is, watch one of my hook videos. I explain it in detail. And then at the very end, you have the end of video. I'm just going to say E for end of video. Now, in the middle of this video, you have all your content. I'm going to put this as green for content. Now, as for red here, you're going to have your first CTA probably around the beginning part of your video where you have a visual CTA. And then the second part is going to be your audible CTA. This is basically like visual CTA is something popping up saying subscribe or comment if you link whatever. And then audio CTA is going to be something that says or you hear something. There's a sound effect of like you should subscribe because blank or comment whatever your favorite fruit is or whatever it is. Okay, so this is how I run my CTAs for specific channels. As for actually going into the CTA, guys, couple big no-nos you should not do. Do not do a CTA that involves a giveaway. Don't say comment if you want free Robux. Don't say comment if you want me to shout you out. Don't say comment if you're a small YouTuber and you want me to get you a lot of views. All these types of comment ratios fall underneath spam policies because YouTube thinks that you're potentially trying to, I guess, take someone's money and you will get banned for that. Now, a good middle line for this is if you're doing a CTA that is like comment how much Robux you have, without saying, I'm going to give you Robux, that is okay. You have a ton of people spamming like numbers in chat. If you're doing ranking, like comment what number was your favorite, right? You have a lot of people spamming numbers. This is not spam. Do not worry if you see a ton of numbers in your comment ratio or your comments in general. This is not something you need to worry about. Don't worry if your comments are just going haywire because of numbers. Okay. I'm just going to write that down. Big no-nos. I'm just going to basically say don't scam. Don't scam. Don't do giveaways. No, no. No, no. Don't spam or don't scam and no giveaways. Don't promise them anything, right? Because chances are someone's going to report your video because they thought they were going to get something. They won't because it's little kids. All right. Now, I know audio CTAs don't work for all of you. For example, if you're in the commentary niche, you can't really do an audio CTA because the retention will dip so hard, right? But there's other ways to get people to comment without telling them to. For example, if you want someone to comment on your video, what you can do is do subtle CTAs. This is called an SCTA, subtle CTAs. Now, what you do in a subtle CTA is you basically show something on a video that you don't explicitly say, but it's so noticeable, they're like, what the hell? For example, let's say you're doing commentary talking about the world's funniest bunnies. All right, if we're doing the world's funniest bunnies, instead of saying this cute bunny was running here doing this, say this ugly bunny was sitting here doing this. It makes people take a step back and they're like, what? He said ugly bunny, right? And then people immediately comment, they're like, that bunny's not ugly, or I can't believe you called that bunny ugly, right? A second way to do this is called the roller coaster of emotions. So first, I'm just going to say ugly bunny. Hopefully that makes sense for that one. The second one is a roller coaster of emotions. So you start off the video talking about the cute bunny, like this cute bunny was doing this, and then the ugly bunny came and did this. This creates a story of a roller coaster of emotions and also a story as well. It creates a good guy and a bad guy, and people start commenting about it. People start taking sides. This bunny wasn't this bunny was that. Now, I'm talking about a very broad example here. I'm sure you can think about your own channel and apply that to here. A lot of the stuff I talk about is general information, and I want you to take this general information and apply it to your own channel because the goal here is to help you get out of the 10 million view jail and then also just get you more views and make you more money. Like that's why I make these videos, you know? So, yeah, the story, line of emotions. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you increase your comment ratio, you will see an increase in your views. Also, it is worth noting that yes, there are other analytics you need to hit. Like for example, your swipe ratio needs to be at above 81.1%. And of course, your average view duration needs to be looking good compared to your LOV, which is your length of video. I've gone over this extensively in other videos. I'm going to go over it briefly here so you can kind of get warmed up. Then maybe you can watch another video and explain it in more detail. But when you're increasing your swipe ratio, you guys need to make sure this is probably the most important thing you do first. I was assuming that when I made this, you guys were probably already broken out of this 0 to 1 million view jail. So I was assuming that you probably already have broken out of the swipe ratio dilemma you're in. But just in case you guys haven't broken out of the swipe ratio, I'll drop a little bit of sauce for you guys right now. Make sure you guys are not using any type of transitions, any type of shake effects, any type of unknown sound effects in the beginning of your videos, right? Because this basically causes people to snap out of this thing I've named the trick truck, the trick truck, the TikTok trance. So let's say you're doom scrolling and you encounter a video and the video is not interesting and you scroll away. There is a reason why you scrolled away from that video. Usually the reason why is because you basically got broken out of this trance you're in of really smooth videos. If someone scrolls away in the beginning part of your video without them even giving it a chance to understand what it's about, most likely you either did your hook or anti-hook wrong, watch another video to understand that, or you did not take away the transitions that you added to your video. Sometimes less is more, right? If you're adding transitions to your video, that's probably a telltale sign people are scrolling away because of that. Another thing, because I'm not going to go into every single way to improve your swipe ratio in this video, but another thing you should do that I used to do is look at your competitors, see what they're doing. Are they doing what you're doing, right? If their videos are getting lots of views, I'm talking tens of millions of views, then they probably have good swipe ratios. And if they have good swipe ratios and you're doing something that they aren't doing, you should probably stop doing your thing and start doing their thing because what they're doing is working. All right. And then later you can start analyzing and understanding why it worked. But first start copying. Um, this is what I call replicate, then reiterate. So replicate what your competitors are doing, understand the concepts, and then reiterate your own content afterward. As for average view duration and length of video, AVD stands for average view duration, LOV stands for length of video. Your average view duration should always be higher than your length of video. For example, if your length of video is 30 seconds, right? Length of video is 30 seconds. Your average view duration should be 31 seconds. Now, I have a lot of people ask me like, how can I actually improve my AVD? How can I improve my LOV? Just watch the retention video. I explained it in a lot more detail there, more than I could in this video. But yeah, other than that, this is everything that I do to improve my videos to get over 10 million views. Most important one, if you're going to take anything away from this, is comment ratios. Use this comment ratio method, and the subtle comment ratio is also pretty important. So I'll give it a little star, just so you guys remember. Make a better start than that. Yeah. And lastly, as well, if you learned anything from this, if anything in this video was even slightly helpful, I do have a paid program where you can work with me one-on-one. We have lots of students getting amazing results, some of them hitting over 20 million views per 48-hour mark, not just in one video, but per 48-hour mark. I'll catch you guys later in the next one. Apply down below. Love you guys. All right, bye.